What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Swipe Up, the 48th episode of the show where I love to share some of my favorite posts from Instagram. Let's get it going with this post from One by One Podcast. Of course, there is a petition out there to get Joe Rogan to moderate the debates, which I would be down for, man. Just the whole election process and politics as it is so bullshit. Like, the things people say are generic, pre-written responses. Like, everything is rehearsed and everything is written and everything is picked over, and you're not getting like honest, real answers to honest, real questions. I don't know how much it would change things for Joe Rogan to do it, but I say fuck it. Let's. It can't hurt. It can't hurt. I haven't seen. He did a podcast. He's done a couple podcasts with some candidates that I enjoy. He got Yang, the Yang Gang, and Bernie on his podcast. I haven't listened to the Bernie episode yet, but I enjoy. I think it's Peter Yang. Is it Peter Yang? I don't know. But I like the freedom dividend, as it were. $1,000 a month would change my life. Would make so much. It would literally change my life. But yeah, I'm down for this. I haven't signed it. I don't sign petitions, but if that's something you're inclined to do, there's a petition out there. I think they already have it. I think they already. I would imagine they have all the signatures they need. But let's move on to the Desert Sun. There was eSports hit the desert. They set up in the sports bar at the Agua Caliente Casino out here in the desert. They had some, I think it was Super Smash Brothers tournament, I think. But yeah, something I've never been into. Esports came up in a recent episode of this show. I could see how people would enjoy getting into it, but it's not something that the only kind of sporting activity I follow is MMA, is UFC, really. So like everything else, whether it be esports or all the standard, stick and ball sports, I don't follow any of that shit anymore. But it's interesting. I'm down with it. It's kind of another aspect of kind of showing that the Valley is starting to get a little bit younger, get some younger people instead of just retired folks all of the time. But yeah, I'd be down to go see if they do another tournament. I'd be down to go. But it's not on my radar usually. All right, let's move on to there was some UFC fights I talked about in yesterday's episode. And mentioned this, the pre-workout or the open workouts, Nate Diaz lights up a joint, smokes like a doctor. Smokes like a doctor. If you're not getting high by 2 p.m, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. And yeah, Diaz doesn't give a fuck. He is a pioneer. He's the only fighter to be this open with smoking weed. And I love it. And as far as I know, there's no popping for weed. It's very difficult, from what I've heard, for them to get popped for weed these days. And that was supposed to be CBD in that joint. I don't know if it was, but that's out there too. You can smoke, those CBD strains of weed for kids. For the kids that want to smoke a joint. But respect to Nate Diaz. He is a legend. Hopefully fights Jorge Masvidal coming up. That would be a fun fight. All right, moving on to something that I didn't know still existed in this time of streaming, and it blows my mind that now That's Music is up to the 71st iteration of their best of pop music albums. Like, I remember seeing ads for Now That's Music back when I watched TV through cable, which was 2006 was the last time I had cable, had DirecTV, and would see commercials like this. But now there's like Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Prime Music, and it's just like you have access to all of these songs now. Why would anybody buy the CD? Like, it's amazing that this is still out there. It's amazing that this is still out there. I can't imagine. One, why are they advertising to me? But two, who the fuck is buying these CDs? This is just mind blowing. But anyway, that's still a thing. Moving on to a little something from Gary V. We have a whole culture that is disproportionately judging their youth that they fucking parented. I can't read out loud, people. I'm sorry. But it's true. All these old people are angry at young people for being young people, for being like the emotional, like not well-adjusted people that they are, that the generation raised. Right? I mean, the quote-unquote millennials or whatever, it's just everybody is complaining about everything these days, so I try not to tap in too much about it. But the fact that older people are complaining about younger people, it's like, man, you turned into the exact same thing that you said you never were going to turn into. I'm going to be the cool old guy. I'm going to be the old cool, that's I'm going to be the cool grandma. That's what everybody said growing up. There's no way I'm going to turn into that. It's like, and then all of a sudden, everybody turned into those old people yelling at kids to get off their lawn. But yeah, I love Gary V. Always speaking the truth. Let's move on. Finish it up with Tyson Nice. Spoke about him on the last podcast. Did some painting, some public art out in Palm Springs, painting some benches. He has a very bright and colorful poppy art style, which I think anytime you can add more color to the valley, the better. Like, everything is like browns, earth tones, stucco. So it's nice to brighten it up a bit, and it's just a cool kind of a video that they put together, showing the work that he did out in Palm Springs. If you're out visiting Palm Springs, now's a cheap time to do it in August. It's hot as fuck, but the if you want a resort vacation for cheap, now's the time. And you can go down, walk down. That's probably on what? Palm Canyon, somewhere on the strip. Go check out Tyson Knight's work. But that's it. That's it for this episode of Swipe Up. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let's do some shout outs real quick. One by One podcast. Shout out to you. Shout out Joe Rogan. Shout out Desert Sun. Shout out B Stunt. Shout out MMAJunkie.com. Shout out Nate Diaz. You are the man, sir. 209. Shout out Now That's Music. Shout out Gary V. And shout out Tyson Knight and PS Public Arts. That is it for this episode of Swipe Up. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out daily. You can subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. You can buy my original artwork. I release a new ink painting every single day on my website, inspireddisorder.com. You can go check out all 800 plus of those paintings, and if you would buy some, you can save 10% as a loyal viewer and listener of this show. 25% off when you use coupon code RTS for Ray Taylor Show. Save 25%. Buy some artwork. Help me out. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Peace out.